What's up, guys? It's John, and this right here is the Chaos Carbine. We're going to clean it today using the Slip 2000 Extreme Cleaning System and the MS Clean from my buddy Peter Palma. We're going to try that out today. I have not used it yet. Long story short, this gun is filthy. It's been shot quite a bit, but it is a piston gun, so we'll see exactly how dirty it is inside. And without further nonsense, let's get to it. We're going to start with the carbon killer on the upper to kind of clean out all the carbon residue and possible brass and lead residue as well. So let's break this thing down. Got this handy dandy punch tool. It's Delrin plastic. Just push on there. And it's nice for tighter pins. Alright, that should just pop right off. Lower's not too bad. I'll clean that in just a second. We'll set that aside. There's the bolt carrier group. Pop out the BCM gunfighter, and of course the upper is as is. Alright, let's see how bad this thing is. You can see it's a little bit dirty, but not too bad, and we're going to see just how clean we can get this. Alright, let's disassemble the bolt carrier real quick. Man, that is crusty. Oh, I can't wait to wipe that off and show you guys. I mean, look at my hands already. This thing is a lot dirtier than it apparently looks. Alright, there's the cam pin. That's supposed to be silver. And there's the bolt. Inside the carrier, it's not too bad. It's kind of difficult to show you guys, but it is, you know, about like the outside is. Okay, so we popped open the MS Clean kit. Got the lid over here. Little thing of frog lube that I'm not going to use. Got a nice pick here. Looks like it's stainless, some sort of steel. That's pretty cool to get a good quality pick. Got your bore and chamber brush, nylon brush, good dual-ended nylon brush, and of course your cleaning rods. Pretty nice little kit. Okay, so we're going to try the Slip 2000 carbon bore cleaner on the bolt itself. And I've got a little bit of water here in a cup to help with the level. And we're just going to pour some of that in there. It does not say to dilute it, but I'm going to do it anyway, just to make sure that the levels are correct. We're just going to take this and put it straight into that cup. Swish it around a little bit, make sure it's getting good coverage, and it says to let it soak. I'm also going to toss the cam pin, the little cross pin there, and that's about it. Next step, I'm going to kind of douche the carrier group, or the carrier itself, in some carbon cleaner. The back end doesn't really need it, but we're just going to liberally douche it, swirl it around a little bit, and you can already see that underneath there, it's actually silver. Let's get that on there. We're just going to let that soak while we mess with the bore. Okay, for our patches, we're going to try these triangle jobbies that I got as a sample, and we're going to put together the cleaning rod. This is really simple. You just screw them together. I mean, really, you got to be a mongoloid to not be able to do this. It has a folding T-handle on the end here. That's pretty cool. It rotates in there. I guess it's locked in somehow. Okay, let's soak this patch. Yeah, there we go. Got it all soaked. And we're going to run this through the bore. We'll see. This ought to be filthy when it comes out the other end. Oh, it's not too bad. Pull it back through just to make sure we got a good coating. Oh, that is sufficiently dirty. Let's get another patch in there. Just soak it and make sure the bore is absolutely douched in the carbon killer. Normally, guys, my cleaning technique is to literally just run some rem oil down through the bore. I don't take the time to clean these because I want to find out when they're going to fail. Okay, so while the bore is soaking, we're going to wipe down the outside of this with the gun cleaner degreaser. Also supposed to remove carbon. Yeah, I want to try the whole kit here, so we're going to try this stuff on the outside with a brush. Let's get these nasty patches out of the way. And here we go. Spray it on the brush. It's actually not a very tight seal around the gas block on this particular rifle. So we're just going to get a good scrub in there. You can kind of see on the desk and on the towel here, it was a little bit dirty in that area, but not too bad. Let's go ahead and spritz the muzzle device. And we'll go ahead and brush that. Try to get down. These are all threaded holes here, so they are going to collect carbon. And while this isn't a perfect solution, obviously I think letting this soak in the carbon cleaner would be better for a muzzle device. Again, we're trying the whole system. We're going to see how it works together. Yeah, that muzzle is quite dirty. All right, let's go ahead and rotate this thing around. Yeah, you can see that muzzle is the dirtiest spot on the thing, not surprisingly. Let's go ahead and give that another spritz and give it a good clean. And that's also going to get clean when we run a brush down through it. I'll make sure to come all the way out and get that on the inside. Okay. That's a little better. Muzzle's definitely looking good. The gas block's looking pretty good. The barrel, obviously, will make that all linty. But that's pretty good. Let's go back and get the outside of the receiver. Now, I'm going to show you guys a little trick here. I have a bucket full of scrap brass. It's steel case, aluminum case, shotgun shells, whatever. And a lot of times I'll clean my guns over this bucket because that's where it's okay to go with this excess cleaner. And I don't want it all over the floor. So I'll just spray the brush down in here. I don't know how much you guys can see, but that's what I'm doing. Just spraying the brush on both ends. Give it a little shake. And now we're going to come back up here, clean off this area where the charging handle interacts with the upper. Just kind of, you know, give it a little love, because this rifle is a hard use rifle. You know, I toss it around, I get it filthy, and it needs to be cleaned every once in a while. All right, so that's pretty good. Let's hold that. Now inside there, you can see I dipped inside the receiver. That's filthy. We're going to need to hit that with the carbon killer, I think. But we're going to try the outside with this. A little spray off there to get the grime out of the brush. And yes, I use a lot of cleaner. And I don't care, you know. It's not like this is not replaceable cleaner. I would rather have a clean gun and use a little bit too much to clean it than not enough and not have a clean gun. It's pretty simple logic. Okay, so this is again a slick side upper, so you can see that there's not a lot of crap on the outside, but it does build up around this area here. All right, let's give this a wipe down. There you go. You can see it was a little bit dirty, not too bad. Again, this probably hadn't been cleaned in several thousand rounds, so considering that, it's not too bad. There you go. You can see there. This cleaner is pretty nice. It seems to not be leaving any residue or anything like that. No goofy looking finish, no oily looking finish that I don't like. You can see inside the receiver right there is that edge. That is filthy. So we're going to hit that with some carbon cleaner. I think what I'm going to do is actually switch it to a pump and spray it inside there to get even distribution. So I got my pump on the carbon cleaner, and we are going to spray that all inside here to make sure I get all the surfaces, because this is disgusting. Also going to spray it down into the chamber. And now I'm just going to let that soak. At this point, I decided to pull the parts out of the carbon killer, which at this point started to look like melted mint chocolate chip ice cream, and just gave it a quick wipe down. You can see it came really, really clean. I was actually really impressed. The only thing I couldn't do with a paper towel is get in between the lugs and get the face effectively. So as you can see, I started brushing that down, trying to get that a little cleaner, and eventually started using a pick on the face of the bolt to get into the tight spots. It worked out really well. After that, I pulled out the firing pin, and you saw how cruddy that was earlier. Look at that, just a quick wipe, and boom, clean, ready to go. At this point, it was time to start wiping off the bolt carrier, and as you can see, it's nice and shiny silver now after it had been soaking in the carbon cleaner. Used a little brush to get on the detailed areas, and it came up really, really nice with just a wipe. That says a lot about that carbon killer. That stuff came clean fast. At this point, I turned my attention to the inside of the upper receiver that had been soaking in the carbon killer just with that quick toothbrush that came in the MS Clean kit. I was able to get that really clean. You can see there's flecks all over the desk, and using my sweet rolled up paper towel technique, I was able to get the inside of the receiver fairly clean pretty quickly. At this point, it was time to turn my attention to the bore, and using a copper brush followed by some patches, I was able to get it very clean after it had soaked in the carbon killer, and I was actually fairly impressed with how that worked. On a rifle that's seen thousands and thousands of rounds, sometimes you get some really nasty buildup, and this stuff did a decent job cutting through it in quick fashion. At this point, it's time to start lubricating the rifle, and as with any AR-15, it's important to get a thin film of lube over just about every surface internally, including the bore. Now, as you can see on some of these patches, they come out a little bit dirty, and I guess that's just leftover residue that the carbon killer did not get, or I did not get out after cleaning it. It's pretty simple. So here we are, just assembling everything back together, and of course getting down into the lower and cleaning that out as well with some of the degreaser, and then re-lubricating that with the Geisley grease that comes with Geisley triggers, and a little bit of the EWL on the springs. Okay, time to wrap up. We used the carbon killer on the bore and the internals, and that did a great job. And we also used the 725 degreaser on the outside of the gun. That did a fairly decent job. The carbon killer is a little bit better, in my opinion, than the 725. I almost don't know why you would need to use that. We also lubricated with the EWL, the Extreme Weapons lubricant that comes with the 3-part kit, and that was pretty slick. I was pretty impressed with how that worked in the action. We also used the MS Clean kit, and I was actually thoroughly impressed with it. It's got just about everything you could possibly need in it. Comes with cleaner, brushes. The only thing I could think of that it may need is a couple patches, and that's not really a big deal because you can use just about anything for a patch, even a ripped up t-shirt in times of need. But that's a good product. I like the MS Clean kit. And that's it for today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please give it the old thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. And of course, as always, thank you all for watching.